Welcome back from an ad break. We will continue with our business studies topic under the heading description of a business plan. We're starting with the relation between the structure of the business and the forms of ownership. So what's the relation between the two? It says here, the relationship between the structure of the business and the forms of ownership. The business structure should have a description of the following aspects. So there should be the number of people the business intends to employ. So when you're starting a business, you need to ask yourself, how many people do I want to employ? Secondly, the management and the staff, for example, their qualifications, their experience, their job description and remuneration. So who are you going to employ? Who you're going to put as maybe the manager there, and how much are you going to pay them? And now you need to specify the qualification that they need to have, how many years of experience must they have, and what will their duties be in the workplace. In this regard, we're talking about job description and how much will you pay them, their salaries, that is remuneration. If maybe there's going to be fringe benefits as well, maybe car allowance, maybe laptops that you're going to give them, maybe it all falls under the remuneration there. And then how we're going to remunerate them. Is it going to be on maybe for the number of hours that they've worked, maybe, or for the number of products that, or yes, products that they've produced, maybe. So you need to indicate all of that. Right, and then we've got administration and record keeping, staff policy regarding working hours, fringe benefits, overtime, sick leave, and medical aids. So this should be described, or this is what is needed in that. Right, we're still on the relationship between the structure of the business and the forms of ownership. It says here the structure of the business should include the type of ownership, such as we've got sole traders, whereby it's only owned by one person, and then we've got partnership, at least two or more people. Then we've got private companies, and we've got public company. This is owned by shareholders. So there should be the relationship between the structure of the business and the forms of ownership. Right, the form of ownership will determine the following. The reason for the form of ownership, why did you start that? Maybe you can speak about the advantages of that form of ownership that you've chosen. The legal requirements of the business, maybe what is needed in order for you to start operating that business. You need a trading license, maybe, tax permits, maybe, and all that. Products and services offered, what is it that the business is selling? How big is the business? We're talking about the size of the business. The number of owners required, how many owners, so that will be determined or dependent on what? On the type of or the form of ownership that we are using as a business or that we've chosen. So the number of owners there. How much control the owners want. If you want full control as an owner, then you cannot have any other form of ownership other than a sole trader, obviously. And then there's also legal protection. All right, now we are done with the relation between the structure of the business and the forms of ownership. So like I said, it's important to make a wise decision with regards to the type of form of ownership, because that will then decide on the structure of the business that you are choosing. Then we're going to the second part of it, which is the different types of legal requirements. So by legal requirements, it says here a business needs to be registered before it can obtain finance or start doing transactions. So that way we can tell whether this is a formal or it's an informal business. And we need to look at your tax payments maybe, or your tax permits maybe, tax regulations. Are you compliant? Do you pay? And all that. So a business needs to comply with the following types of legal requirements. Number one, we're looking at the trading license and permits to operate legally, because if you don't have trading licenses, then chances are maybe you're operating illegally. And then we've got taxation regulations. Are you paying tax? Are you paying to the SARS? Are you showing or declaring the income that you are getting, or you are falsifying your information, because you understand that falsifying the information is unethical. It's illegal to falsify information. So you need to be ethical in your tax as far as tax is concerned. International trading or export and importing requirements and the exchange rates, so you need to comply with that. Registration fees, just registration, is your business registered or not? A business needs to comply with the following types of the legal requirements. What legal requirements are we looking at here? These are legislations. We're looking at the basic conditions of Employment Act. So here we can talk about the types of leaves. Maybe are you giving the employees the right, or are you allowing them to go on maternity leave, for example, 4 consecutive months on leave for those that are pregnant? Maybe do you give them sick leave? Maybe they're supposed they need to get sick leave. Maybe what else? There's those types of leaves that you can think of. There's your annual leave. Maybe I spoke about maternity leave. So there are many types of leaves. Are you compliant with the basic conditions of Employment Act? Then we've got Labor Relations Act. So this one speaks about the rights of employers and employees. In as much as an employer have got rights, but also employees have got rights as well. So a business needs to comply with these rights. Allow employees to join any trade union of their choice. Allow them to be part of the workplace forums as well. So that is the Labor Relations Act. Then we've got our National Credit Act. We've got Environmental Conservative Act. We've got the Patents and the Copyright. So these are all the legal requirements that as a business we should comply with, because if we are not compliant with this, then there are penalties, and we don't want such penalties for our business. All right, so now we are done with the first two parts of our topic. So we're going to go on a break, and then when we come back, we will continue with the importance of a marketing plan and a market research. I'll see you just after the break.